I'm a 29-year-old woman, and I work in clinical nutrition. I deal with food allergies and dietary restrictions every single day. It's my job to know exactly how allergies work, what they look like, how the body reacts, how to manage them, how to test for them. So maybe that's why this whole situation hit a boiling point when it did. Or maybe I was just sick of being played for a fool. My older sister, Alex, is 31. Ever since we were kids, she's claimed to have a severe shellfish allergy. And I don't mean just a mild reaction or stomach upset. I'm talking full-on, I could die if I even smell shrimp kind of claims. Our parents believed her without question. So no seafood was ever allowed in our house. Ever. No shrimp, no crab, not even fish sticks. If we went to a restaurant and the menu had even one seafood item, my parents would make a scene and demand to speak to the manager. Alex didn't have to lift a finger. She just sat there, pale and fragile, as if the mere presence of prawns was going to send her into anaphylaxis. I was too young back then to really question it. But I remember my childhood clearly, birthday parties where she demanded the entire menu be changed. Family vacations ruined because a waiter didn't understand her instructions. At one point, our neighbor's dog had to be rehomed because it ate fish-based kibble, and she insisted the smell made her throat tingly. My parents went along with all of it. To them, any doubt was cruelty. I remember once, around middle school, I asked why she didn't carry an EpiPen. My mom snapped at me so fast I thought she was joking. I learned then that asking questions made me the bad guy. But as we got older, things started not adding up. Alex got into a food phase in her 20s. She posted elaborate charcuterie boards on her Instagram. She went on sushi dates with her boyfriends. She had a Caesar salad obsession for a while, eating it almost every other day. I know most people wouldn't think twice about it, but I did. Caesar dressing is made with anchovy paste. I asked her once, casually, if she made her own dressing. She looked confused for a second, then said she only used the vegan kind. I checked her fridge a few days later when we visited. It was Kraft. Regular, anchovy-filled Kraft Caesar. Still, I kept quiet. I knew the fight wasn't worth it. Once I started working in nutrition, the inconsistencies became even harder to ignore. Her story kept changing. She told one friend she was allergic to iodine. She told another she could eat crab in small amounts, but shrimp made her skin burn. I noticed she never had prescriptions. No EpiPen, no antihistamines, no doctor notes. And yet she had no problem storming out of a catered event because someone brought shrimp spring rolls. She would cry and say people didn't care about her safety. She'd post dramatic stories online about how traumatizing it was to constantly be dismissed. Then came the rehearsal dinner. One of my closest friends, a former college roommate, was getting married. Her rehearsal dinner was at a cute little bistro with a fixed menu. Shellfish was optional for one of the courses, and the restaurant even printed disclaimers about potential cross-contamination. Nothing out of the ordinary. Alex lost it. She stood up in the middle of the room and demanded to speak to the chef. When the poor hostess came over, Alex started shouting about how this was an attempted murder and how she'd never felt more unsafe. My friend was so embarrassed she started crying. Her fiancé had to pull Alex aside and ask her to leave. That night, Alex messaged me with a long voice note about how I should have warned them and how I clearly didn't care about her health. I didn't respond. Instead, I started paying attention. I began watching her more carefully. At family barbecues, she'd hover near my husband when he made shrimp skewers. Once, I caught her sneaking a bite of his shrimp tacos while chatting in the kitchen. She looked up, saw me, and laughed it off by saying, "It's fine. I took a lactaid, for shellfish." That was when I stopped wondering and started planning. A few weeks later, my parents